And with that, we move on to the next one. We are doing... Oh no, oh no. You know how I said I have a couple pretty big books? The Handmaid's Tale, recommended by Jack Edwards. Oh boy. I want to talk about The Handmaid's Tale because, oh my goodness, this book is incredible and I have things to say. But first, I went to Costco today and you know what they had? Gently dried strawberries. I haven't seen these in forever, and normally I've only ever seen them in the summer. If you ever see these at Costco, grab like 5 bags because they are the most incredible, just a little snack. And they're sweetened with apple juice. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm gonna make lunch. I'm going to chill for like half an hour because I was at Costco all morning, and then we're gonna get into this book. It is so good. The Handmaid's Tale. I am years late to this party. 1985? Okay. Let's move to the living room. Get more comfortable. Possibly find better lighting, though that's debatable. I'm drinking decaf sticky bun coffee with the Trader Joe's cinnamon roll creamer. Excellent combination. So good, so hot. It's pouring rain outside. It is the perfect hot drink weather. Okay, finally. The Handmaid's Tale has been around forever. I have wanted to read it for a long time, just haven't gotten around to it. I know there's a television show based on the books. I've never seen it. I don't think I've seen a single second of it. So I went into this book actually not knowing a whole lot, except that it's a classic and one that everybody should read. I have read from Margaret Atwood before. I've always enjoyed her writing. But this book, the writing and the storytelling and the characters, everything about this book is brilliant. She creates this narrative that seems like it should be dry just in the way it's written, but the way she puts her words together just keeps the reader so engaged, and I am having a fantastic time. I love that there's a little bit of ambiguity around how they got to the society that they're living in, how little things were just kind of chipped away, and now all of a sudden there's this massive change in society, and how the main character, Offred, is part of the generation that saw the change the most. So she grew up in society a certain way, massive change happened, and now everything is totally different, and how it's being kind of drilled into them that generations to come won't struggle so much because they won't know the difference. And I find that to be really intriguing. I also know that there's been some talk about how the slippery slope of this book isn't so unrealistic in real life, and you can kind of see that now. Would it ever get to be this extreme? I would hope not. I would hope that we have more common sense than that, but humanity has shown that there is not always a lot of common sense in us. But the taking little pipe bites at a time out of people's freedom or out of people's rights, and how that snowballs and the impact that it has over a long period of time is interesting, although it sounds like this change happened quite quickly. Anyways, I'm just so thrilled to have finally picked this book up. Margaret Atwood is the iconic Canadian author. I can't think of another Canadian author who is as popular as Margaret Atwood. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Canadian author Margaret Atwood is that person. And it just goes to show how when you write a incredible piece of literature, there's a reason it continues to live on, and why people 38 years later are still picking up your work for the first time and still calling it brilliant and still finding it relevant. I think that just goes to show how incredible her writing is and her storytelling, and I am so stoked to have finally gotten it. I'm also really surprised with how quickly I'm able to get through it. When I picked it up, you would have seen from my response with picking this one out of the hat, out of the cup, that I was unsure about how I would get through it, but I'm actually getting through this really quickly. I've got about 100 pages to go. I should finish it by the end of the day, and it's going to be one of the best reads of the year. I have absolutely no doubt in that, and that makes me very, very happy. So, to Jack Edwards, who recommended this book, you are very correct, sir. It is brilliant. I will talk to you when I have finished, and we will see how the last 100 pages go. Wish me luck. I'm feeling like it could get a little traumatizing. Finished, and my thoughts remain the same. This book is brilliant. I want to thank Jack Edwards just from the bottom of my heart for being the catalyst to me finally picking this book up, because it is absolutely incredible. It's one of those books that makes me wish I had taken more English literature classes at university, because I would love to be part of a discussion of this book, how it was written almost 40 years ago, and the relevance to today is shocking. And I would just love to hear really intelligent people talking about this book and what it means, and all the subliminal messaging and all of the metaphors and all that stuff, because I think the fuel this book could provide to a conversation would be something just special to be a part of. It's that good, and yet it doesn't read like a really dry classic. I think when I picked it up, I mentioned that I had a couple of bigger books on the TBR for this challenge, and this was one of them. And it's actually really not that long. It is about 300 pages, just over 300 pages or so. And it didn't read the way I expected the classic to read. Like I said, some classics can be dry, and you really have to grapple with the language and the environment and the meanings behind certain words, because they've changed over time. And I enjoy classics a lot. That's kind of what I was expecting from this, sort of, even though it was published in 1985. So it's not like the language is super archaic or anything, but I think I expected it to read a little bit more like that, and it's not. This is a very quick-paced book. You are very much submerged into Offred's conscious, and I don't actually normally love books that are just kind of, this isn't stream of consciousness, but it's very much like I did something, and I don't normally like books written in that type of point of view. But this one, just because of the way Offred's head works through situations, it was absolutely fascinating. Particularly, you get to a point where she almost has to just come to grips with this is her life now, and she has to really feel out how much she's willing to fight and be part of this subversive group, and how much she just wants to live and just to like let things be the way they are because she just wants to breathe another day. And I find that to be the writing and the way Margaret Atwood was able to tell the story is simply, it's remarkable. This book is fantastic. It is absolutely going to be on one of my best reads of the year, and it's one that I would love to read again just to see what more I could get out of it. The introduction to this book was really good. And I'm not a big introduction person typically. Normally, actually, I will read an introduction. Okay. I don't normally read the introduction before I read a book. If I enjoy the book, I will go back and read the introduction, because I find some introductions just give things away, and because I actually really didn't know exactly where the storyline, the plot line of this was going, I decided to skip it. I loved it. I went back and read the introduction, and it just offers a lot of insight into the book, even though the introduction was written, I think it was written in 2006, so it's not even the most current of introductions. I can't imagine what an introduction to this book right now would say. I think that would be really interesting. But it still offered just a lot of insight into the way society in the real world, in our world, is working versus how things devolved in this world, and it's just brilliant. For instance, this is just one very small quote. It won't take very long, and it says, "He is showing me off. He is demonstrating to me his mastery of the world. He's breaking the rules under their noses, thumbing his nose at them, getting away with it. Perhaps he's reached that state of intoxication which power is said to inspire, the state in which you believe you are indispensable and can therefore do anything, absolutely anything you feel like, anything at all." Like, tell me that is not relevant to the world we are living in today. This idea that your power is suddenly required in the world. Oh, brilliant. I do want to note that there is a lot of talk about motherhood in this book, obviously, because Offred is a handmaid, and her job essentially is to get pregnant. And as anybody who has watched this channel at all knows, not my favorite topic. I don't care. It's written in such a great way that, like, even one of my least favorite themes in books, I absolutely didn't even notice it. And also, the ending of this book. For a moment, I thought we were going to go the way of Hanya Yanagihara's To Paradise, and I was kind of a little disappointed, but it absolutely redeems itself with the final chapter, and I honestly, I could rave about this book for forever. I would just say I absolutely back Jack Edwards. Like, this is required reading. It is so good, and I cannot wait to own a copy. I need to find a nicer edition though. I don't love the cover of this. This is obviously the library book, so when I can find kind of a cool edition of this book, I will 100% be purchasing it. That is The Handmaid's Tale, and thrilled. I have a hard time believing any book is going to beat this one in this challenge, but I will be thrilled if something does, because it just means the reading has been spectacular. Anyways, I just want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the support, all the likes, and the subscriber count that is growing. It's just a wonderful, fun little thing, and it's making my life a little brighter. I appreciate you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.